Welcome back to another Phone Fix Friday. My name is Derek, and today I'm going to be showing you something that's quite simple, but some techs might find it daunting, and that is how to replace just the core on an iPhone. Today I've got an iPhone 12 mini that we're going to be doing that on, along with a couple other things. Let's get into the video. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use our TBK screen separator. If you don't have one of those, then this is the cheaper TBK version without heat. We're going to remove the two bottom pentalobe screws, just like that. We'll turn it on and we'll set the phone inside. We'll wind in and clamp down on the sides. Oh, and something I should have mentioned before is we're also going to be replacing the screen because currently when we try to power it on, it doesn't want to show anything, or if it does, we get some lines. So something's wrong with this display. You can see it kind of want to try to light up, but nothing's showing anything, and I've got like a red mark up there. Anyway, so we'll throw this inside, clamp on it. We're going to hit start. We'll lower this down, and we'll watch the temperature heat up as this counts down. And as soon as this gets all the way down to 0, then we're going to start to wind this guy up. All right, it's now green, so we're going to go ahead and slowly start to lift, and there we can see the screen starting to come up. Not that we care about damaging it because it's busted, but if it weren't busted, that's how we take it off anyway. All right, we'll push this button to release the suction, spin that guy up, release the phone, and there we got the screen off. I'll turn this off and get it out of the way. All right, now we'll get the display all the way off. Pull off the bracket, disconnect the battery, and the same for the proximity sensor assembly. We'll take off the screws for that shield, pull it off, and disconnect the proximity sensor assembly. I've gone ahead and removed the proximity sensor assembly that we'll put on the new screen. But for now, let's talk about the batteries. So this battery here isn't holding a charge that's sufficient for the owner. So after lifting up the sticker here, here's kind of a trick that you can use to get the battery adhesive. You just start to wind the adhesive with the screwdriver. Just don't poke the battery. And eventually the adhesive should, not always, but should almost always just wind up and come out. If it doesn't come all the way out like that, you can always go in with some isopropyl alcohol. And then we'll do the same on this one right here. We'll wind it up and it pops right out. There are two on the bottom, one really teeny tiny small one here. I don't think I got all of it, but that's okay. And then this one right here. Carefully add some isopropyl alcohol under the battery. Take a pry tool, carefully go in on the side. You can already see how much that battery moves. There's not much holding it on. We're just going to gently pry it up now that we got almost all of the adhesive. A couple of drops down in there to break up the last bit of adhesive. And there comes out. Peel off the remaining adhesive so we have a good clean surface for the new adhesive to stick to when we go to reinstall it, just like that. All right, now for the fun part. So here we've got a sticker. It's a black sticker here that is covering up the BMS. The BMS is what houses basically the technology to communicate with the CPU to tell it, hey, I have this much capacity. Here's the resistance and a bunch of things that are happening to communicate with the CPU, continue to push power to me through the charging IC, or I'm fully charged. And it also has stored on it the data and is serialized so that the phone recognizes this battery as the original one to it, which means if we just replace the battery, it will be flagged as a non-genuine battery. So we'll pull off this sticker, and without flexing this much because it kind of gets weak, like a wire, if you bend it back and forth enough, it'll break. So we're going to avoid that. And we'll carefully roll this back and out. We'll get rid of the rest of the sticker here, just like that. And now we can see the anode and the cathode leads here. Now, if you look really closely, you'll see there's kind of like a flap that folds out and folds away. We want to save that flap, and we want to cut off what's tack welded to it. Now, I recommend you do the next step with some ceramic scissors. You just can't cross any metallic thing between the anode and cathode. I can't find mine, so I'm just going to be extra careful to not snip the battery and not cross lines there. And I'm going to go ahead and cut right through there. And we'll do the same on the other side, just like that. Now I'm going to go clean up, take off the leads that were on there, and I'll show you how to install a new core to the BMS. All I'm doing really is just rolling off and kind of peeling away the old piece that was on here very carefully because it is a little fragile without deforming the other too much. Now for spot welders, you could just use the Macaroon, or maybe you've upgraded or should upgrade to the Macaroon Max. This one has this standoff platform specifically for tack welding, and this platform for the actual core to sit. So I like this one much better, although the other one will get the job done. Now we have the negative down here. I'm just going to plug in the positive here, just like that. And here's the new battery replacement. Let me take it out and see that it has a few things. We've got a plastic bracket with the adhesives, the cell itself, and new battery adhesive under there. Go ahead and turn this on. And if it's in Chinese, basically what you do is you go over to this bar on the side here that says set. It'll have Chinese writing. And you go down here to where it says English. It'll have CN. It'll look like this when you first start. So go over here, you go down to CN and you click here and it brings it over to English. So we'll go ahead and take our battery and pull off the little protectors here. Now these leads are a little too long, so I'm going to carefully trim them. Now again, if you're doing this, I would recommend, it shuts down on its own. I would recommend using ceramic scissors. I don't have mine right now, so I'm just going to be extra careful and not cross leads. Make sure you know which side this needs to be on. We're going to put it on this side. It doesn't end up on this side. All right, we've got the BMS locked in there. It's got this little kind of a clamping fixture. I'm going to go ahead and power this back on. Go ahead and line up the lead here. I'll get it where I want it. We'll push down nice and firm. It has a 0.8 second delay. And you can see there, just tack on. And then we'll just do the same on this side, where we'll clamp it in place. Make sure we like the alignment and push it on down, just like that. Now we can turn this off, and coming back over here to the BMS, what we'll do is we'll fold that back over. I'm going to take the original sticker here and we'll stick it on the back and peel off the protector for this little black adhesive. And now what we'll do is we'll carefully roll up the BMS. Sometimes we need to pull out the flaps on the edges of the lithium cell so it'll roll. And now we'll just take this bracket little cover, peel off the adhesive, stick it on here at the bottom. Then we'll take the sticker, peel off its protector, line it on up, fold it on over, and wrap up the arms just like that. Now there's a tag on flex down here. You don't have to install this, but if you want to have any chance of correcting the health in the settings, you will. Unfortunately, the iOS 17.4, when that came out, it made it so that the data that's stored in here is copied to the CPU, meaning if it doesn't match up, then the battery health is going to be whatever the CPU has recorded. So once this has been installed in the phone will need to be flashed or go through an iTunes update or restore to fix the data in the settings, if it is a 17.4 or newer. Now, if it's before the 17.4, then I have videos showing how to do this on another model, and you'll be able to follow those steps, which is basically plugging it in and restarting the phone in the proper way. But we're going to go ahead and install this. Basically, what we'll do is we're going to plug in the tag on flex here, like this, and then this connector wraps around, folds around inside here, just like that. We'll get out our new battery adhesive. We'll line it up with the battery, just like that. And then we'll rub on the adhesive. I like to use the back of my nail. That way it really gets a good chance to stick. And then that can go up and over, just like that. And we'll peel off the pink protector here. All right, so we'll take the battery. And what I like to do is I'll just go ahead and connect up the battery now. That way I know it's gonna be installed in the right spot. And I go to push down the battery just like that. And then I disconnect the battery now so we can connect up the display. All right, we'll go ahead and connect up the display and the proximity sensor. And we'll go ahead and put back the brackets and all of the screws. Now we can go ahead and connect up the battery with the tag on flex and put back the last bracket and the last screw on the inside. All right, now let's go ahead and prompt it to boot. There's the Apple logo, and we'll wait for it to boot all the way up. And with the screen having been damaged, it looks like we're going to have to wait 3 hours before doing anything. Not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and peel off the adhesive and get the last 2 screws installed, but that is how to replace the lithium cell with the core battery. If you've made it this far, like the video. All right, that's how to replace the core on an iPhone 12 mini. It's very similar on most of the models. There are a couple ones where there's a little bit more nuance to it, but hopefully you see how easy it can be. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments below, or if there's something you'd like to see in a future video, let me know. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.